Hey, welcome to After Prison Show. I know this is definitely a different look out here in my she shed. That's right. I've built my makeshift prison cell, sort of. It's not all the way complete just yet, but we do at least have the bars up. In a perfect world scenario, I wouldn't be holding this microphone like this. I would actually be holding the receiver to that prison phone right there. And I'm going to have the microphone in the... Yeah. That shit is going to be clutch. I swear it is. Also, I know you're probably seeing this wig and saying to yourself, no, Joe, please. Don't be getting ready to do Touch 'em 2 times Tommy. And I promise you, for those of you who don't like Touch 'em 2 times Tommy, you've got nothing to worry about. That's not why I'm wearing this wig. I'm actually trying to look a little like the villain we're going to be talking about in this video today, Sam Bankman-Fried or Fried. Not really sure how you pronounce this guy's name, but one thing's for certain, both of those ways could have something in common with this guy. One, he may never be again, and the other, he may certainly soon about to be. And I'm talking about Fried, not Freed. God, I hope this is coming through clearly. But real quick, before I go any further with this, I do want to take a moment and mention Touch 'em 2 times Tommy. If you are a fan, and whether you are or you're not, I think that you're going to get a kick out of something that's coming very soon. And I can't say anything more about it. Trust when I tell you, big shit popping here on After Prison Show, especially upcoming. Folks, today I want to share with you what I think Sam Bankman-Fried is going to be like when he arrives at prison, where he most certainly is about to be going for a very long time. As we begin this video, a couple of things that I want to mention. Thank God I had lost $25,000 in cryptocurrency Filecoin, of all frickin' things, prior to me ever becoming aware of anything related to FTX. Because I think to myself, you know, had I not lost $25,000 in crypto, and my God, that was a tough pill to swallow for sure. Sort of like what Sam Bankman-Fried's going to be doing when he gets to prison. You following me there? Hey, guard! Hey, guard! Oh boy, we're going to have a lot of fun with this prison cell right here. You know, I think to myself, had I not lost all the money that I did, and then I began to see commercials featuring Tom Brady, if Tom Brady's endorsing some sort of a cryptocurrency or crypto exchange, damn it, I'd have probably been all about that. Or Kevin O'Leary, or Steph Curry, or David Ortiz, or the numerous other celebrity endorsements that this cryptocurrency / crypto exchange was receiving and getting. You know, I probably would have jumped all over this. If it's good for Tom Brady, it's got to be good for me. Sadly, since the collapse of FTX and FTT and everything related to Sam Bankman-Fried Incorporated, well, it's not really, you know, anything that this guy was doing since the collapse of all of that, and so many people lost so much money, there's now lawsuits against all of these celebrities. Isn't that crazy? Giselle, my God, Tom Brady's ex-wife, I believe at this time. She's even wrapped up in this. So look, let's start with a little bit of introduction. For those of you who are possibly like me, you know, not really too aware of what is actually going on with this Sam Bankman-Fried character and all of this trouble that he finds himself in, and, you know, numerous news stories about this guy and, you know, cryptocurrency and the crypto exchange. Let me try to fill you in the best that I can and the best that I gather from what this is all about and what happened. Sam Bankman-Fried is the CEO of FTX and FTT. He was the CEO of a crypto exchange that had its very own cryptocurrency. And this thing took off some kind of a way. I'm not too savvy on how this thing blew up, possibly with the, you know, the celebrity endorsements, but, you know, how prior to that was this thing blowing up? Possibly from numerous investors. I don't necessarily know, but they created a crypto exchange and a cryptocurrency, and this thing was doing outlandishly well. In fact, Sam Bankman-Fried, only 30 years old, was named one of the richest people in the world. I think he was named like the 41st richest person in the world. He was the youngest billionaire, I believe. And all of that would come crashing down with a quickness. Now, I believe that the way that this cookie began to crumble is when another company wanted to buy out or buy into FTX. And that was a company called Binance, another large crypto exchange, I believe. And while Binance was doing research on FTX, they would make statements saying, hey, look, as we're looking into this thing, expect, some unsettling information to be coming out very soon. And it was through tweets of that nature that caused this cookie to start to crumble. And ultimately, it would be when Binance decided that they were not going to do business with FTX or purchase or whatever they were trying to do, merge with this company, that this thing began to bottom out for real. Literally within one day, Sam Bankman-Fried went from the 41st richest person in the world, at one time worth $25 billion, at another time worth $10 billion. This guy went from $10 billion in one day to less than $1 billion, like $995 million, it was reported. Within 2 days, I think it was the Wall Street Journal who was reporting on this, said that this guy was worthless. When Binance was looking to do business with FTX, I'm gathering and guessing here, taking an educated guess that basically what these folks over there at FTX were doing was robbing Peter to pay Paul, essentially. They were running the biggest pyramid scheme, sort of Wolf of Wall Street-esque type of thing here in the late 21st century, right? My God, Wolf of Wall Street was back in the 90s? And here's old Sam Bankman-Fried doing this in modern day times, right? What a gangster this dude was, right? I don't really think that he was at all. In fact, I think this dude is a dweeb, and I think this guy's going to have quite the time when he gets to prison, but we're not there yet. We're still doing our book report. Hey, guard, when the tray's coming? We gonna get some wreck today? Sorry. It's not often that guards come around here checking on us. It seems like FTX was, taking in all of this money from these investors and using this to inflate their imaginary gains and profits. Your common pyramid scheme, your common sell me this pin tactic, Wolf of Wall Street type of deal. That's what it certainly seems like. Now, there's some other things as well of, Sam Bankman-Fried pulling out $4 million to take for himself and, all sorts of other things. Long story short, tons of people lost tons of money because of this dummy's mishandling and misrepresentation, which I believe is the biggest thing, the fraud, being the misrepresentation of what FTX was actually doing or what FTT was actually doing as a company. Now, I could be wrong about these things. These are just the way that I'm perceiving this story to be. I'm only here to tell you what the guy's going to be like in prison. Don't shoot the messenger, okay? If I'm wrong about these things, let me know down in the comments. But I think I got a pretty good understanding of what was going on here. It's crazy to think that this guy was 30 years old and became one of the youngest, if not the youngest billionaire, the 41st most richest person in the world, and yet was not, if he's smart enough to create all of that, or maybe he just got lucky, maybe he just ran across the right people at the right time, the right investors, and just had people dumping into this thing. And the real pyramid scheme is bringing in more and more celebrity endorsements. If Tom Brady says it's good for him, damn it, it's good for me. Martha, where's your life insurance policy at? Like I said, if I didn't lose $25,000 on Fugazi coin, I'd have surely jumped when Tom Brady said to do so. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to villainize any of the celebrities that were attached to this. My God, Kevin O'Leary even got wrapped up into this. And he's from Shark Tank, folks. If Kevin O'Leary got duped by this 30-year-old, he must be good. He's a real piece of work. I tell you, and in prison, boy, they're going to treat him just... But we're not there yet. It was shortly thereafter that investigations began into this guy, and then charges came soon after all of that. Charges such as wire fraud, securities fraud, conspiracy, all sorts of charges. I think he's got 8 charges in total federally, and he's facing 115 years in prison. One of the stories that I was reading in relation to this guy, they interviewed a seasoned federal defense attorney familiar with securities frauds and wire fraud cases, and said that no matter what, this dude is at the least looking at decades in prison. I truly feel like he's going to get that, if not the rest of his life, potentially. Is this guy going to get a life sentence from this? He's not only facing charges here in the United States, he's also got the Bahamian police looking into him as well. And he's currently out right now on the largest bond related to a criminal case. A $250 million bond this guy is free out on right now. Part of the stipulations of this guy's bond is he has to live at his parents' house in California. Like, where did this guy get $250 million from? I just remember seeing him on the news not too long ago prior to him getting arrested when they were asking how much money he had, and he said he only had like $100,000, right? But he does have the money to get out on $250 million bond? Hey, we're charging this guy federally, and he has duped so many people into believing that, this was the unicorn, this was the lucky investment, this was the thing that you needed to invest in, Wolf of Wall Street type of deal, right? And we need to get some of this money back. So when Binance pulled out and this whole investigation was just getting ready to begin, it all started with Binance looking into this company and then saying, you know what? Hey, we're not going to buy into this thing at all, nor purchase this. This thing is highly volatile, what they said. And what they were really probably trying to say is this joint is a rainbow. It does not exist. There's no pot of gold at the end of this joint. Pull out while you can, but there was nothing to pull out, because this joint would declare bankruptcy right after that, and Sam Bankman-Fried would resign as that guy from this company. I wonder how much money he ran off with, talking about he only got $100,000, but yeah, he can post a $250 million bond. I wonder if it's similar to the state system or, to normal cases, I guess, where you could put up 10 or 20%. Can you imagine the bondman? Like, who is the bondsman for this guy? $250 million? What is 10% of that? 20%? I honestly don't know. I'm in prison, for God's sakes. I'm not good at math. Sam Bankman-Fried with his dumbass little hairdo. That's why I'm wearing this like this. Trying to imitate exactly where this dude's about to be, but he ain't about to be hanging out at the bar. Nah, not like this. Hey, you gotta be of a certain caliber to be able to hang out at the bars like this. You better reckon. Hey, nurse. Hey, nurse, did you get my medical request slip about that growth? You ain't get that. Boy, hey, if the prison phone brought me back, well, let me tell you something. These bars are making me a little nervous. Do you think Sam Bankman-Fried has some money put aside for a rainy day? Do you think he's going to die in prison before he gets to prison? What do you think the life expectancy of a guy like this is? I saw a video on TikTok. I don't know how true it is or not, but it was somebody who said that they had lost a lot of money due to FTX or FTT because of Sam Bankman-Fried and his dumbass lies, manipulating the system and all that good jazz. But they said that they ran into this guy in an airport lounge playing games on his laptop, and they didn't do nothing. Come on, man. You had me going up until the point where you said you ain't do nothing. But then again, maybe you didn't want to risk the federal charge of assaulting a guy up in an airport that probably would carry. That could probably land you in a world of shit right there. But I mean, at least you got to go up to him, put him on blast. I mean, do the 2022, 2021, do the 2020 thing. Maybe it's even, earlier than that, 2019. I don't know, when it actually became a thing to just throw your phone in somebody's face and put them on blast on Facebook Live. I'm in prison. I ain't got enough cord on the receiver to show. I could use the mic as the phone and be like, hey, Stick, we on Facebook Live. Hey, tell me that lie again about FTX and FTT being that thing that I need to invest in. Bing! Over the head with the receiver a few times. Yeah. The reason that I'm sharing this video with you guys is because I am very curious about what this guy's time in prison is going to be like, and I'm not too sure. I've got mixed feelings about that, and we're just about to get to that. But there's one other thing I want to mention real quick before we do. It was a story that I ran across today, as a matter of fact, that absolutely made me have to do this video. I am so sick of this guy and his bogus bullshit. Because see, when he was the 41st richest person in the world, you probably couldn't tell this guy shit. He was the smartest guy in the room, in the world, Craig, probably thinking that, right? But now all of a sudden that all this trouble is brewing, he just acting like he dumb as a bitch. Now, I don't even know why they put me in this position knowing what I was going to do. But there was a story that I just ran across where this guy is trying to get some assets, some stock that is wrapped up in Robinhood, I believe, that is worth something around $500 million. And the federal government has seized this, and the new CEO of FTX is trying to get this as well. And I believe what the government and this new CEO are, I believe what they're trying to do is they're trying to recoup this money from these stocks to potentially start paying back people who lost money due to the fraud that they fell for. I believe that's what's going on with that. However, Sam Bankman-Fried is trying to get his hands on that prize as well, and his rationale for why he should get that, because he owns 90% of a company that owns 90% of that stock or something along those lines, but he's trying to get that, and his rationale is he needs access to those funds so that he can pay for his defense. Dude, you're out on a $250 million bond. Talking about you need access to that. Like, how much are we going to spend on a defense? What this almost begs to ask is the question, could unlimited money get you out of trouble? Because if you're out on the highest bond in criminal case history, $250 million, you're basically saying you've got unlimited funds. Could unlimited money get you out of jail free? I think this is going to be a really good example of, I don't think so. Which is ironic to me because I always thought that it would. Joe, didn't you just try to do a skit with your cell phone and you said that you didn't have a phone, and there you go lying to us because you got a phone right there? Sorry, but I really need my phone for this part. Folks, I ran across this story right here. It came out on January the 9th, 2023. I believe that is today, as a matter of fact. It certainly is. Oh, shit. Open it up one more time. It says, Sam Bankman-Fried fights for Robinhood shares, says he needs them more than FTX customers who only suffer possibility of economic loss. So basically what he's saying is, I need the money for my criminal defense, and fuck them people who invested. Get it from the rough, is what he's trying to say. You know the risk you was taking when you invested in this? If y'all to let him keep going, could he have built this thing to the moon? Did anybody actually pull out of FTX or FTT successfully, seeing a profit? I'd be curious to know. The disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried is attempting to regain access to his Robinhood shares worth over $460 million. The former CEO of the collapsed crypto exchange claimed he needs them to pay for his criminal defense, stressing that without them, the consequences would be serious and irreparable. Sort of like his bunghole. Just got a foghorn leghorn, just got to throw that up in here. After you get to prison. Not after prison. After you get to prison. Yeah, and he's basically saying FTX customers, on the other hand, face only the possibility of economic loss. That was what he literally said in his court filings, trying to get his hands on that money. All the while, the federal government is trying to do the same. He ain't going to get none of that. I can guarantee it. So anyways, folks, let's go ahead and talk about what this guy's going to be like in prison. Undoubtedly where he's going. Do you think he's got a snowball's chance in hell of not going to prison? I want to pose that question first and foremost. Is there anybody here who actually sides with this guy? Hey, he's not that bad, okay? He tried to create a business model. It failed. So what did he do? He took some plants across an imaginary line. I don't think anybody feels for this guy. This guy is the devil incarnate right now. The white devil, sort of like from Ace Ventura 2, I believe. Yeah, this guy's probably one of the most hated people on the planet. Just look at this guy. I don't like the way he looks. I hate to judge a book by its cover. You know, if Tom Brady was endorsing FTX, and I hate to keep using his name. You know, if Gisele Bündchen, whatever, if she was endorsing this, and I saw her and I was like, wait a minute, ain't that Tom Brady's wife? I'm about to invest in this. And then I got a chance to see who the CEO of this was, and I saw this guy's face. I'd like to believe that I'd be smart enough to not invest in this based off of looks alone. I know that's being so judgmental. But hey, it's 2023. You absolutely have to be these days. Look, this guy is definitely going to prison. He's going to prison for a very long time. I just talked about Todd and Julie Crisley, who are getting ready to go themselves for 12 and 7 years, and how the federal government does not play money crimes. No, they don't. Damn sure don't. Hey, Sam, do you need a prison consultant? You know, I don't want to toot my own horn or nothing like that, but I know a guy. I'm just saying. You know, reach out and I'll tell you how to get hard. Not literally, because, you know, prison's no place to be doing that. Even though it's going to happen, and, you know, what happens in prison stays in prison. Look, when this guy gets to prison, he's definitely going to have a target on his back. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. He just looks the part, okay? He looks the part as a soft-ass dude going to prison. This dude going to have a world of problems. And sadly, will money actually help this guy? Because he's claiming to have no money whatsoever. But I'm sure everybody probably believes that this guy's definitely got some money put aside. Is he a DB Cooper, so to speak? This is why I get these conflicted feelings of what this guy's time is going to be like. Because to most, he's going to be a target and somebody who's easily extorted, taken advantage of, beaten up, stuffed in a locker underneath of a bunk, you know, made to wash dirty drawers, turned into a housewife, so to speak, up inside of a federal prison, wherever he ends up at. But you never know, he could end up at a cushy little low, but I don't think that he's even going to be able to do that, because based on the amount of time he's going to get, he's going to absolutely end up at a medium or a real deal USP. So, I know for a fact this guy's time is going to be a bitch. But where I get conflicted on this is if he does, in fact, have money and he's able to flex that on the inside, he could live a very cushy life for the rest of his life in prison, which he certainly could be getting ready to spend. There's also thoughts that I have thinking, you know, there's probably going to be prisoners who envy this dude. Like, hey, Sammy the Bull. Hey. You know, this dude could end up running shit in prison. He could be looked at like the smartest dude there is. He could be looked at as, you know, an opportunity for a major come up. Why beat the shit out of this dude when we can befriend him and get way more out of the guy? What if this guy joins a gang? What if old Sam Bankman becomes one of the hardest guys on the block? What if he earns respect and clout while he's serving time? I doubt that that's going to happen, but you never know, it could. Prison changes a man. The fact of the matter is, this is a tough one for me to call. I don't feel like people are going to, you know, want to beat this guy up based on his charges, right? These are charges that are going to be highly admired in the federal system. This guy's going to be looked at as like, John Gotti, right? He's going to be looked at like he's a boss for real. And I truly believe that there's charges that will make you a target, and then there's charges that will make you cool. And unfortunately, no matter how much you hate Sam Bankman-Fried in his fucking face, his charges could potentially make him that guy. And if you've seen Prison Break, which we all have, you'll know that the old guy that they were trying to break out with them, there was thoughts that he was D.B. Cooper, right? Is Sam Bankman-Fried not only your modern day Wolf of Wall Street, but potentially also a modern day D.B. Cooper? Certainly makes you wonder. I think to myself, if there were people who lost their entire life savings and everything and their lives were in shambles because of the detriment of investing in FTX or FTT or anything Sam Bankman-Fried related has caused in their life, would they be willing to put forth the strife? Strife means suffering. Would they be, anyway, but it rhymed. Would they be willing to put forth what it takes to make sure that a knife is implemented in prison? They probably can't, because they can't afford to. They lost everything with FTX. Think about like when people go to court and you watch Court Cam on A&E and things like that. And in the courtroom, how the father of the victim, wants to jump across the podium and beat up the defendant or, try to mess him up in the courtroom. Is anything like that going to happen to this guy? I mean, sure, he's an ass and a lot of people hate him. Matter of fact, he could be one of the most hated people in the world, like I had mentioned. But is he really going to have that many problems in prison? If he does, it's only going to be because of what he looks like. But ultimately, what he's done and what he's associated with and his charges and the amount of money that this guy has been associated with, I think is going to keep him relatively safe. I think one thing that will be a problem for this guy is who is he going to associate with in prison? The Aryans and the whites, they're going to want to keep this guy safe. Is he Jewish? I'm curious. I'm genuinely asking. I don't necessarily know. I think that, there's going to be certain sets that want to keep this guy safe, protect him for a cost, of course. While others definitely want to get their hands on him, probably sort of like anybody else, except, this guy's more of a high value target because of how high profile he is. Know what I mean? What if he creates another crypto from prison? I hate to even mention that because that's something that I kind of want to do. I kind of want to create what do you call those things? An NFT? Is that even still a thing, or is that, down the toilet with FTX and all of that shit? Little prison commissary items like an icy white honey bun, things like that. Prison coin, so to speak. Got to be something to that. Maybe Sam Bankman-Fried's working on the next thing right now currently. Out on bond, the highest bond in the world. I doubt it. Right now he's playing the role of the dummy. I'll leave you with one final thing. I want to hit on this. Here's a guy who probably felt invincible. 30 years old, 41st most richest person in the world. I hope I've got that number accurate because I've mentioned it quite a few times in this video. Now, all of a sudden, when everything is, completely upside down, bankrupt, 115 years in prison, what he's facing, $250 million bond is what he's out on. Now, all of a sudden, he's playing the role of the dummy. I didn't know. You ever seen that movie, The Usual Suspects, with Kevin Spacey, I believe? Unfortunately, he's not a favorable character these days, neither. But in that movie, Kevin Spacey plays the role of I wanted to use a line from Something About Mary, but it would be in poor taste. Kevin Spacey plays the role of a touched individual, only to outsmart and outwit the police. Because once they let him go at the end, he straightens up and flies right. I mean, literally starts walking correctly, upright, and such. Is Sam Bankman-Fried trying to do the same thing? Has he seen that movie, The Usual Suspects? I leave you with that, folks. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you think of my makeshift prison cell out here in my she shed. And as always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day. Peace. Hey, guard. Oh, we're going to have some fun with this. I can't wait. Hey, TTYL. about to knock shit down.